Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Akshay Dongre, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Iran temporarily reopens Strait of Hormuz following a ceasefire agreement in Lebanon, but wants to close the crucial waterway again if US Navy blockade of Iranian ports continue. President Donald Trump says United States and Iran would jointly remove uranium from Tehran's nuclear sites with excavators under any peace deal. India invited by the United Kingdom and France to participate in a multinational initiative aimed at ensuring safe and uninterrupted shipping through Strait of Hormuz. Oil settles down by 9%. Major Wall Street indices rocketed to fresh records after Iran declares Strait of Hormuz open. In the latest development, Iran temporarily reopened the Strait of Hormuz on Friday following a ceasefire agreement in Lebanon. Though it has raised optimism about peace deal, but Tehran warned that it could close the crucial waterway again if the recent US Navy blockade of Iranian ports continue. The statement came after US President said that a naval blockade on Iran will remain in place until a broader deal is reached. DD India's Ravindra Chauhan brings more.
Iran on Friday said the strategically critical Strait of Hormuz will remain open to global shipping for now. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi announced that all commercial vessels can pass freely through the waterway during the ongoing ceasefire period. In a social media post, Araghchi said the passage would stay completely open for the duration of the truce, though ships must follow routes set by Iran's maritime authorities. However, it remains unclear which ceasefire timeline Tehran is referring to. A 10-day truce between Israel and Lebanon, or a separate pause in tensions involving the United States. The announcement triggered an immediate reaction in global markets as oil prices plunged more than 11% as fears of a prolonged supply disruption eased. Extending earlier losses on hopes of de-escalation in West Asia, Brent crude futures dropped by $11.12 or 11.2% to $88.27 a barrel at 1311 GMT. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell $11.40 or 12% to $83.29 a barrel. US President Donald Trump welcomed the move, calling the strait fully open and ready for business. But Trump made it clear that a US naval blockade targeting Iran will remain in place until a broader agreement with Tehran is reached. On Wall Street, stocks rallied on the news. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite all opened higher, while the small cap Russell 2000 hit a fresh intraday record high. The Strait of Hormuz handles a significant share of the world's oil supply, making it one of the most crucial choke points in global energy markets. Its reopening, even temporarily, is easing concerns of a deeper energy crisis, but uncertainty remains. Any renewed disruption in the strait could quickly send shockwaves through global energy markets, trade, and the broader global economy. Bureau Report, DD India.
The US President Donald Trump said that the United States and Iran would jointly remove uranium from Tehran's nuclear sites with excavators under any peace deal before the material is transferred to the US territory. Trump's comments elaborated on his claim on Thursday that Iran had agreed to hand over its enriched uranium. The US leader regularly uses the term nuclear dust to refer to Iran's stock of enriched uranium, which the United States accuses Iran of hoarding in order to make an atomic bomb. His remarks on Iran came during a speech to Turning Point USA in Arizona. He said Washington will help Tehran dig it out from nuclear facilities hit in US strikes last year.
He said, how are we going to get the nuclear dust? We're going to get it by going in with Iran, with lots of excavators. We need the biggest excavators you can imagine, but we're going to go in together with Iran. We're going to get it, and we're going to take it back home to the USA. Very simple.
US President also said he expects to reach a peace deal with Iran very quickly, as most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to.
And this process, we're getting along well, but who knows with anyone, but who knows with Iran in particular. This process should go very quickly, and that most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to. You'll be very happy. The USA will get all nuclear dust. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form.
Lebanese President Joseph Aoun said that a ceasefire agreed to by his country should be transformed into permanent agreements. Aoun thanked US President Donald Trump and regional countries for helping secure the ceasefire without mentioning Israel. Aoun said, negotiations are not a sign of weakness, nor a retreat, nor a concession.
I hereby affirm and promise that there will be no agreement that infringes upon our national rights, diminishes the dignity of our steadfast people, or relinquishes an iota of this nation's soil. But now we are all at a new phase, the transition from working towards a ceasefire to working towards permanent agreements that preserve the rights of our people, the unity of our land, and the sovereignty of our nation.
European leaders gathered in Paris on Friday to begin planning a potential multinational mission aimed at securing the Strait of Hormuz after the end of the ongoing conflict involving Iran, the United States, and Israel. French President Emmanuel Macron and US Prime Minister Keir Starmer co-chaired the meeting at the Élysée Palace, bringing together key allies to address the growing economic and security risks posed by the blockade of the vital shipping route. Leaders including German Chancellor Friedrich Merz and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni attended in person, while dozens of other heads of state joined virtually. The discussions focused on restoring free shipping in Strait after Iran's blockade, which has pushed up global energy prices and raised fears of inflation and shortages. According to officials, the proposed mission would involve mine-clearing operations and safeguarding commercial shipping without engaging in active conflict. The meeting will also address concerns of more than 20,000 seafarers currently stranded aboard ships in affected waters. While Germany signaled tentative support for the mission, Merz cautioned that concrete steps remain distant. Military officials are expected to continue planning discussions next week at UK's Northwood headquarters. And Emmanuel Macron, the French president, welcomed Iran's announcement that the Strait of Hormuz will be reopened to commercial shipping for the duration of the ceasefire, saying the move goes in the right direction.
The recent events are encouraging, even though we have to consider them carefully. We welcome, of course, the ceasefire between Iran and United States. We also welcome the recently announced ceasefire regarding Lebanon. It has to be respected, as is, and we also welcome the announcement of the reopening as a result of this ceasefire of the Strait of Hormuz decided by Iran. All of these go in the right direction.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also welcomed the move and said more than a dozen countries were ready to contribute assets to a defensive mission aimed at restoring the freedom at the Strait of Hormuz.
Welcome the announcement that was made during our meeting, but we need to make sure that that is both lasting and a workable proposal. And if anything, it reinforces the need for the work that we've been doing this afternoon, because we're very clear that the mission that we're putting together is a defensive mission and that comes after a ceasefire.
Meanwhile, India has officially confirmed that it has been invited to take part in a maritime initiative led by the United Kingdom and France to protect transit through the Strait of Hormuz, widely regarded as a critical global choke point. During a weekly media briefing in the capital, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal confirmed the invitation. This invitation arrives at the international community intensifies efforts to ensure the security of one of the world's most vital energy corridors, which facilitates nearly 20% of the global trade. And addressing an inter-ministerial briefing, Joint Secretary at the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Sujata Sharma, said the fuel supplies across the country remain stable with domestic LPG distribution continuing smoothly and no shortage is reported.
तो हमारी जो डोमेस्टिक एलपीजी सप्लाई है, पेट्रोल और डीजल वगैरह की सप्लाई है, वो नॉर्मल है। घरेलू एलपीजी के संबंध में मैं ये बताना चाहूँगी कि किसी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर पर कोई ड्राई आउट रिपोर्टेड नहीं है। कल भी हमने लगभग 50 लाख से अधिक घरों में एलपीजी का सिलेंडर पहुँचाया है। हमारा ऑनलाइन बुकिंग 98% है और डिलीवरी ऑथेंटिकेशन कोड के साथ डिलीवरी लगभग 93% है। कमर्शियल एलपीजी भी 70% तक रेस्टोर्ड है और कल लगभग 8,200 टन कमर्शियल एलपीजी की भी सेल हुई है।
In providing an update on travel from the Gulf region, MEA Additional Secretary Asim R. Mahajan stated that the passenger movement to India remains steady with flights operating in a calibrated manner.
Around 10,38,000 passengers have travelled from the region to India. Airlines continue to operate limited non-scheduled commercial flights based on operational and safety considerations between UAE and India. Around 100 flights are expected to operate from UAE to India today. Flights are operating from various airports in Saudi Arabia and Oman to different destinations in India. With the Qatar airspace partially open, Qatar Airways is expected to operate around 10 flights today to India.
Updating on maritime operations, Mukesh Mangal, Additional Secretary at Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, said that Indian seafarers remain safe and port operations across the country continues normally without any congestion.
The Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways continues to coordinate with the Ministry of External Affairs, Indian missions and maritime stakeholders to ensure seafarer welfare and uninterrupted maritime operations. All Indian seafarers in the region are safe and no incident involving Indian flagged vessel has been reported in past 24 hours. Ministry has facilitated safe repatriation of more than 2,400 Indian seafarers so far, including 30 in the last 24 hours from various locations across the Gulf region. Port operations are normal across the country and with no congestion reported.
The United Nations has welcomed Iran's move to reopen the Strait of Hormuz for commercial vessels during the ceasefire. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said Secretary General Antonio Guterres called it a positive step while stressing full navigational freedom must be ensured.
Secretary General welcomes the announcement today by the Islamic Republic of Iran that the Strait of Hormuz is completely open for all commercial vessels for the remainder of the ceasefire. The Secretary General considers this a step in the right direction. The United Nations position remains clear. We need the full restoration of international navigational rights and freedoms in the Strait of Hormuz to be respected by all parties. The Secretary General remains fully supportive of the diplomatic efforts to find a peaceful path forward out of the current conflict.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Offline registration begins for Chardham Yatra. Football icon Lionel Messi buys Catalan club Cornellà.
Near the heart of India, a land filled with surprises. In the mighty force of your waters, you hold the deepest secrets that take us back in time. When it's said that the gods walk this land, this is where we feel the warmth of your faces. See hands that mold life. While embracing change, you grow. In you is the land that gives, creates, nurtures, grows, and builds. It's all in you. Come, experience Chhattisgarh.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Akshay Dongre. India and Norway held the third dialogue on trade and investment in New Delhi. Both sides reviewed trade growth and explored new cooperation opportunities. The talks highlighted the role of India-EFTA-TEPA agreement. Discussions covered energy, maritime, MSMEs and technology sectors. India's exports to Norway have shown steady growth in the recent years. Both countries agreed to deepen economic ties and enhance investment cooperation. India and Austria held a business forum in New Delhi to boost trade and investment ties. The forum coincided with Austrian Chancellor Christian Stocker's visit to India. Both sides launched a bilateral fast-track mechanism to facilitate investments and resolve issues. Leaders highlighted plans to expand trade and strengthen economic cooperation. The proposed India-EU free trade agreements identified as a key growth driver. Focus areas included green technology, advanced manufacturing, and sustainable development. India participated in the World Border Security Congress 2026 held in Vienna. A delegation led by ADG Anand Prakash Badola represented the country. India showcased its best practice in maritime security and border management. The forum brought together global leaders and security experts. Discussions focused on emerging challenges and technological innovations. India reaffirmed its commitment to international cooperation in border security. Meanwhile, the National Health Authority has convened a two-day Chintan Shivir in Pune to review Ayushman Bharat schemes. Senior central and state officials are assessing progress and future priorities in ABPMJ and ABDM. Maharashtra Minister Meghna Sakore Bodikar emphasized preventive and technology-driven healthcare systems. Key initiatives including new guideline, NHCX strategy, and ABDM index were unveiled. A digital academy was launched to build a future-ready healthcare workforce. Discussions focused on digital integration, faster claims and processing, and strengthening of the healthcare system nationwide. The Women's Reservation Bill 2026, a crucial constitutional amendment aimed at reserving seats for women in legislature, was defeated in Lok Sabha. The bill failed to secure the required two-thirds majority of members present and voting a mandatory threshold for constitutional amendments. Despite strong backing from the ruling NDA, the members fell short of the two-thirds majority mark needed in the House, highlighting the lack of sufficient cross-party support. This marks a significant political movement as the long-debated push for women's reservation in Parliament once again hits a roadblock. Reacting to the result, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiren Rijiju said that the result on this significant and historic bill are very unfortunate.
जो नतीजा आया है, ये इतना ऐतिहासिक और महत्वपूर्ण बिल पर देश का महिलाओं को अब सम्मान अधिकार देने का जो बिल है, उसको विपक्ष ने साथ नहीं दिया। बहुत खेद की बात है और इस ऐतिहासिक पल को अपना एक मौका था, आपने गंवाया है। आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में महिलाओं को जो सम्मान देने का, अधिकार देने का हमारा अभियान जारी रहेगा और हम अधिकार दे के ही रहेंगे आगे।
And DD India correspondent Vishal Baristow caught up with Bansuri Swaraj, BJP MP from New Delhi, who called it a black day.
Carrying placards in their hands, these are the women MPs of BJP protesting against the Congress. I have with me Bansuri Swaraj, and she is very vocal against the Congress party. Let's ask her why.
Today was a day of promised fulfillment, but it seems that political selfishness was prevailed upon the Congress party as well as the India alliance, and therefore today they have betrayed the women of Bharat. They have ensured that their rhetoric of women empowerment is merely a lip service. They don't want to effectuate the bill. It could have easily been implemented in 2029, despite the guarantee given by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, despite the clarifications given by the Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah ji. the Vipaksh, the opposition, only found excuses, and today they have once again betrayed the women of this country.
Do you think that they will have to face the music, as the Home Minister and the Prime Minister said that the women are never going to forgive or...
Absolutely, absolutely. The Matra Shakti of Bharat is not going to forgive them.
What would be your strategy, your party strategy for tomorrow?
We are going to go between the public. We are going to actually go to each and every daughter of the country, and we will ensure that what betrayal has been done by the Congress party is definitely they are brought to justice.
BJP would ensure that the Congress and all those who blocked this amendment are brought to justice. This is the voice of the women MPs of BJP. With cameraman Praveen in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristu for DD India.
And moving on to our next story, preparations are in full swing for the annual Chardham Yatra with offline registrations of pilgrims in Haridwar in North Indian state of Uttarakhand. Devotees from across the country have started arriving in large numbers. Here's the report.
With the Chardham Yatra set to commence on April 19th, offline registration of pilgrims began in Haridwar on Friday. From early morning, devotees from across the country queued up at Rishikul ground, patiently waiting to complete formalities to register for the sacred journey. The administration says elaborate arrangements have been put in place to ensure a smooth and safe experience for pilgrims.
Registration for the Chardham Yatra has started on the 17th in Shrikul. Many pilgrims from Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal and other states have arrived here, and all of them have been registered and warmly welcomed. In addition, several facilities have been arranged here. Medical facilities are available for all pilgrims and volunteers have been deployed to guide them. They are being informed about the precautions to take, such as carrying warm clothes, and about the facilities available for the journey ahead.
The authorities are also focusing on strengthening security and crowd management measures. The Chardham pilgrimage begins on the occasion of Akshaya Tritiya, with the opening of Gangotri and Yamunotri temples in the Uttarkashi district. The gates of Kedarnath in Rudraprayag will open on April 22nd, followed by Badrinath in Chamoli on April 23rd.
And moving on, the International Monetary Fund will likely provide Venezuela with a financial support program as part of its re-engagement with the South American oil exporter.
And finally, I want to welcome Venezuela back to the IMF family. As you will have seen, a majority of our membership, by voting power, has established relations with Venezuela, which has paved the way for the IMF to resume relations after a 7-year-long pause. We are committed to actively engaging with Venezuela to do our part to help the country achieve macroeconomic and financial stability, to help the people of Venezuela to see better days. We will be coordinating closely with the international community, including the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank. I can tell you our membership expects a lot from the fund.
Argentine legend Lionel Messi has become the new owner of Catalan club Cornellà. Cornellà announced 8-time Ballon d'Or winner Lionel Messi has formalized the acquisition of the club, who are in the 5th year of Spanish football. The 38-year-old, who helped Barcelona win the Champions League 4 times and also claimed 10 La Liga titles with the Catalan Giants, is currently playing for Major League Soccer side Inter Miami in the United States. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India Live. I'm Akshay Dongre. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India.